Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Humayun from Neutron College, Peshawar. I welcome you in my class. Our today's discussion is about chapter number 2, atomic structure, and the topics for today's discussion is discovery of a neutron, radioactivity. Right, students? This particle neutron is discovered by James Chadwick in 1932, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize. How he did this? He performed a series of experiments, and the experiment he did some nuclear reactions, and from nuclear reaction he discovered neutron, which is electrically neutral particle. Moreover, he also proved that these particles they exist in the nucleus of an atom. That is, न्यूक्लियस में प्रोटॉन है, हमें पहले से पता था, and now न्यूट्रॉन was discovered by James Chadwick. Right, students? Now हम आते हैं towards the experiment, and his experiment, what he did, he bombarded the nucleus. He bombarded the nucleus of lighter mass element like beryllium or aluminum with alpha particles. And from where we get these alpha particles? These alpha particles, they were obtained from the polonium element. And you know, students, polonium is a radioactive element which emit certain type of radiation, nuclear radiations, and these nuclear radiation are alpha particles. And you know, students, alpha particles, they are +2 positive charge helium nuclei. Alpha particles, they are helium nuclei, W positive charge, +2 charge helium nuclei. And from where alpha particles were emitted? It emits from polonium, which is a radioactive element. Over here is the polonium element. These radiation, they were allowed to bombard on light mass element like beryllium or aluminum. These alpha particles, they produce some highly penetrating radiation, and when these radiation they were allowed to pass from paraffin wax, they knock out protons from the paraffin wax, which were shown by the detector. Students, let me repeat. This is an apparatus which is used for the discovery of a neutron. It's a nuclear reactor. This is over here a nuclear reaction take place. Right, students? He used beryllium or aluminum element over here, and he bombarded this beryllium or aluminum by alpha particles. These are alpha particles. These are alpha particles. And students, I told you, these alpha particles, they were obtained from polonium, which is a radioactive element. When these radiation, they were bombarded on beryllium element, it did nuclear reaction over here, and neutrons were produced. These neutrons, they were unknown at that time, but when they were passed from paraffin wax, they penetrate into the paraffin wax and ejecting protons from the paraffin wax, and the detector shows that the proton are positively charged particle over here. Now, how they know that these are neutrons? So, remember, students, these alpha particles, they know that there are some radiation which were unknown. Over here, they know that some radiation were emitted, and they don't know about that these were neutrons. So how they know that these were neutrons and they are not charged? So simply, when paraffin wax, when these radiation ejects protons from the paraffin wax, so they concluded that alpha particles, they are positively charged particle. So positively charged particle cannot eject positively charged particle because of the repulsion between two similar charges. Right, students? So these radiation, they are not protons. No, a question comes in the mind that it may be electron. So remember students, it cannot be electron because the mass of electron is 1836 times lesser than that of proton. So a small size element, a small size particle cannot eject a more size particle. So electrons are not electrons because it cannot eject protons because of the size problem. So these radiation were named as neutrons. Why neutrons? Because these radiation are known as neutrons because they were uncharged, neutral, right students, and they have approximately equal mass to that of proton. So he said that these radiation, these particles which are emitted from the metal source, they have approximately equal mass to that of proton because similar masses can eject a particle of similar mass. Right students? So the nuclear reaction which took place was helium nuclei 2, 4 bombarded on beryllium element. Beryllium is a 9 and 4. What were produced? Carbon 12 and 6 plus neutron. Neutrons were discovered and that way. Helium was bombarded on beryllium and beryllium converted to carbon, releasing a proton. अब स्टूडेंट्स, अब इसको याद करने का आसान तरीका है, आपने क्या करना है, आपने इन दोनों को प्लस करना है. You have to add these two. 9 plus 4 is 13, right? So you have to add these two. 12 plus 1 is 13. So in such reaction, it's very easy when you do such type of reactions. So simply write one neutron over here. For example, if you are using aluminum is 27 and 13, and helium is 2 and 4. Simply you can write phosphorus 27 plus 4 is 31 minus 1, so 30, and 12 plus 13 plus 2 is 15, and write one over here because neutrons were ejected from the nucleus. These are nuclear reactions. Right students, I hope you understand this topic. One more thing, why we use vacuum pump over here? We use vacuum pump and this nuclear reactor in order to remove any other gas particle which is present inside the container, this apparatus. If some other gas molecule are present, then obviously they will hit those gas molecule and some other reaction can take place. For that reason, he used vacuum pump to evacuate all the gases present inside this apparatus. Right students? This is a nuclear reactor, and this reactor carbon is produced. This beryllium, it changed from beryllium to carbon, and if it is aluminium, then aluminium will change to phosphorus. This is how neutrons were discovered. Now let me discuss some of the properties of neutrons. So the first property is they are not affected by the electric field and magnetic field. When you pass neutrons from electric field or magnetic field, it do not reflect over there. These particles were not affected and the electric field affected mean deflected, right? And the electric field and the magnetic field. second point is they are neutral. They are neutral. They do not have any charge. They have zero charge. Right, students? The third is they have high penetrating power. They have high penetrating power. Why? Because they remove a proton from paraffin wax. What are paraffin wax? Paraffin wax is an organic compound having a formula which contains carbon and hydrogen. Right? So hydrogen has been removed in the form of proton H plus from the paraffin wax. Their mass is equal to the mass of their mass is equal to the mass of a proton. प्रोटॉन का मास कितना है? प्रोटॉन का मास है